Hey everyone, welcome to the horror show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm producer Dave.
I'm Birchburger.
In Fuego here.
And we are here to give our 2 cents on Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. We saw this last night and it was a 10 p.m. showing, so we were all too tired and we worked too early this morning to get it done last night. So here we are getting it done now. We'll be releasing both a regular movie review and a spoiler discussion. So first, the movie review, and we'll do it like usual. Our overall thoughts, our thoughts on the story, the acting, the effects, the music, all that good stuff in turn. And I'm going to start off by saying I didn't like it. I think it might be my least favorite. I think it's my least favorite of all of them.
No, three is way worse than
No,
this.
I really don't think so. I really don't think so. I think here's the thing. I think there were aspects of this one that I liked. I think there were things that he was trying to do that I really respect. But I think ultimately, all those things were so effing stupid, script-wise, that I just couldn't get behind the whole thing. And I have a lot of gripes with it, and I will get into it as we go along. But I was not impressed, and I am frankly bummed out at the status of this movie. Dave.
I liked it.
I liked it. All right, a little more than that.
It was good. Here's what I would say. It's not the best Jurassic Park film, but it's not Jurassic Park anymore. Now it's Jurassic World. Mm-hmm. And the sheer balls it took to do what they do for the ending, to me, means that the series is still alive, and this, kind of like you said, we think might be a transition film to what's going to be coming next. Obviously, they have another one coming, so
yeah,
I'm excited for the next one too.
Mm-hmm. I liked it. I did. I thought it was in tune with all the other movies, to be honest.
Too much so.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. I just said too much so. That's part of the problem I had with it.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess you don't like the series because that's the point of Jurassic Park. It is ridiculous. It is fanciful. It is out of the box, like from the norm, and they had to find a way to get the dinosaurs off the island. And I don't want to give away too much than we already know in the trailers, but I thought it was really fun. I thought the acting was good. I loved the cinematography. I liked watching it on IMAX, and the 3D was good. Yeah, I don't know. I loved it. It gave me everything I needed. It gave me my Jurassic Park fix, and my favorite dinosaurs were always highlighted. So I liked it.
Yeah, Marsha. High five, Marsha, through the screen. Just the other. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, that'll work.
To your left, Marsha. We're to your left.
Well, okay, we'll go this way. There we go.
There you go. Yep. Oops. I hit David's face. All right.
It works.
All right, that works. We're good.
Well accomplished.
Fuego.
This is a movie I've been wrestling with since watching last night. When I first walked out of it, I was very upset, and then I've tried to wrap my head around some things that I thought it did well. Bayona made a gorgeous looking movie.
Yes.
I will definitely give him that. In some ways, I think it was better directed than Colin Trevorrow's previous one, but I had so much more fun with the last one. This one really felt disjointed and boring to me a lot of the time. I still really like the two leads a lot. I think they have great chemistry. They amuse me. I really like both of their characters, but everyone else was so throwaway. And the fact that it felt like two movies in one was another thing that I know they were trying to do something different with, as you see in the trailers, going to this mansion and stuff, but it just didn't all fit together, and I felt like it was tamer violence-wise than the last one, and it didn't give me my creature fix the way I wanted it. Another genetically engineered dinosaur. The last one was a raptor and a T-Rex together, and now this one, the Indoraptor.
Yeah.
Is it more raptor now? Because they took the other one and then they combined it with more
It's just one of the problems I had.
But not enough raptor.
It was
Because
way
they
literally
made it blue.
so the first one was they crossbred a raptor with a T-Rex and some other things here and there, and then this one they crossbred a raptor with the Indorex. thus making the Endoraptor. So they just made a smaller version.
I think the last
a smaller, more controllable version of the last movie, of the last villain. So it's like automatically you're making the villain smaller and less impactful than the last one. So that's just problem one.
I thought it was way cooler than the last movie.
It did cooler
more
things.
Raptor, and I liked it a lot. I love the little kickbacks that they threw to the first Jurassic Park, and just having like the way he hunted, and that everything was like super like hyper sense, and then the clicking of the nail always just made me like giggle because I'm like, he's clicking his nail. I don't know. I liked it. It made me think about the first movie.
I did. Here's another problem. If they crossbred the Indominus Rex with a raptor to make the Endoraptor, how did it suddenly? While I did like this touch, how did it suddenly become quadrupedal? When both the raptor and the Indominus Rex were not quadrupedal, or quadrupedal, however you say that.
They kind of allude to that with the Dr. Wong coming back. That character kind of alludes that's what, his genius is allowing them to do, is really manipulate the DNA now and do that kind of stuff.
That did make it a little
where
bit
they've ticked
scarier,
off the boxes of all the things that they want genetically in these creatures.
And again, this is a non-spoiler review. We're just talking about the bad thing that you see in the trailer, in the cage.
This is the main plot of the film.
That they literally introduce. And that's another problem, man. The last two trailers gave away so much. Like, you said you only watched the first trailer, but there was so much of this movie ruined by those last two trailers.
That's why you only need to watch one trailer.
Yeah, you really, that's
well,
even as a horror channel, we can't really do that for everything, but
they did show us like 90% of the movie pretty much in the trailers, which was really disappointing.
Including the follow-up to the big tension moment that ended the trailer with the Endoraptor reaching for the girl in the bed, which, by the way, is just going to lead me to yet another negative, which was the way the story was told. I thought, let's jump into the story, obviously, is what I'm leading to. There was a lot of dumbness to the writing of this movie, especially when it came to the second half. But the first half was full of conveniences, and so the first half is the exodus from Isla Nublar, Isla Nublar, right? And then the second half is what happens once the dinos are taken from the island, which again is shown in the trailer. So here's, one of the big problems is that we never really got, the dinos were either running for their lives or in cages, unless it was the Endoraptor or Blue. And those are the only two that really had free reign to interact with things until, the Friar Tuck one gets, involved later on. But you know what I mean? It's a largely disappointing story for me. You bring back Bryce Dallas Howard in essentially a glorified tree hugger role, trying to save, tree hugger vet role, trying to save the dinosaurs. We're introduced to a paleontological veterinarian, which, I get that in this world it could exist, but this one has never seen a dinosaur before. If it's supposed to be a paleontological veterinarian, make it someone that worked at Jurassic World. So, actually dealt with dinosaurs, and we believe that she can do all this stuff. So there's that, and then there's the flimsy, same exact story between Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, where literally when we saw them in the first movie, they were having been estranged after dating. We see them rekindle it in Jurassic World, and now, the beginning of this one, they're once again estranged after having been dating again. And it's it's so silly. And then we're introduced to the Black Lex of the Jurassic Park series, of Lex and Tim from the first movie. He's the technological kid of the group, the young technological genius that is scared but thrust into this situation and having to do tech-savvy stuff. There was just a lot in this story that I had a huge problem with. And that's not even spoiling anything. That's just the character setup that I went through. So
wow, you're really upset about this movie, and I didn't give a shit about any of that. Like, I thought it was. I'm like, I'm here to watch Jurassic World. I'm here to watch Chris Pratt. I'm here to watch some dinosaurs fleeing for their lives and maybe see a few people get eaten, and that's what I got. So I feel like it is very much in line with the other movies. You're not going to get the same kind of storylines you're going to get from the books because the series isn't built that way. You're going to go to the island, then they're obviously transitioning from Jurassic Park to Jurassic World, so they have to get rid of the dinosaurs off the island. They have to figure out how to do that. They got to do that fast, because otherwise, you're just going to spend the whole time on the island being chased by lava? I mean, they have to bring it somewhere. They have to carry the story somehow.
Yeah.
I'm honestly wondering at this point what's up with Isla Sorna.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Well,
not mentioned at all in either.
In the books, at the end of the second book, they firebomb it.
Yeah, but
So-
that's not in movie continuity,
Yeah,
though.
I don't know.
So what did you think of the story, Dave?
I thought the story was adequate for a Jurassic Park film. The original story, I think they did such a beautiful job that all of these other ones are much like The Force Awakens, paralleling all these sort of like story beats that we've seen before. The dinosaurs being taken by a nefarious corporation, the betrayal of, this whole idea that, the dinosaurs are supposed to be our way of experiencing our past and things that go extinct. And so there's this whole idealistic side that Bryce Dallas Howard comes at, and Chris Pratt has the more realistic sort of like, why are we going back here? And I think they ruined that line in the film. I don't even think it did get a laugh because it was so obvious in the trailer. That line when he walks up to her and says, if I don't come back, this is you're the one who got me here.
Yeah. Just remember,
that was a beautiful line. I think was wasted in the trailer. Because
and then the music drowned it out too.
But overall, I loved all of the special effects. That's particularly the animatronic. The part in the truck, which I won't say anything more than that, but it was a beautiful animatronic that harkens back to when the second one was made with the tiny T-Rex, and how beautiful they are, the big Triceratops even, the beautiful animatronics they used to make, and there was a lot of CG in this film as well.
Yeah, there was.
The dinosaurs, when they crashed through things, I felt like those things didn't have weight sometimes. And there's a lot of dinosaurs crashing through a lot of things in this film.
Yeah.
I will say that seeing it in IMAX 3D during the island explosion made this film worth it for me. That was amazing.
I will agree.
So
I think the 3D was
freaking
great.
cool.
We'll wait till the effects to talk about that. So, Fuego, your thoughts on the story itself?
Yeah, story, as I was saying, with overall impressions, it was very disjointed. But I do have to say, I did quite like the first third of the movie or so. Like the opening setup is great, and I was just intrigued by the fact that, okay, of course people are trying to go back and take some of what is left behind and so on. I felt like it was the most character development that we got was with Bryce Dallas Howard's character from the last one compared to Chris Pratt. And I know we'll segue into characters and acting and stuff here in a bit, but yeah, the first third and the last third I thought were okay enough, but the middle with all the conveniences, like you were saying, man, didn't do it for me. I was especially amused by the fact that they swore up and down that this was nothing like The Lost World, and yet the setup of going back to the island was so much like
And
The
the
Lost
ending.
World.
Not only the setup, but the fucking bad guy.
And the ending.
Yeah.
It's literally Hammond's assistant was the bad guy in this one, and this was Hammond's light assistant. Ends up being, and again, this is largely given away in the trailers. Like, it's so crazy how much of the movie was given away in the actual trailers, and it's so insane how much like the Hammond wannabe in The Lost World the bad guy was like in this one. It's astounding how many of the bad things they took from bad Jurassic movies and put them into this one.
Well, even Cromwell's character being similar to Hammond's character in the second one, where his health is failing, and he's having second thoughts about what he's done and all this stuff, and even down to as I said during the Lost World review that we did, the empathy that I felt for the dinosaurs, especially as they're trying to escape the catastrophe that's happening with the volcano and everything. I felt genuinely bad for them being taken into captivity and the natural disaster going down. But once again, so many of the same beats, man.
Yeah, well, and he's tied to one of the largest like story beats that ends up being glossed over almost immedately, that we can't get into without spoiling. But it's like, yeah, it makes sense in the world where the Jurassic Park, park exists. This could be a thing, and yet it's never been touched on, and it's touched on, and then it's glossed over almost immediately. It's like, what the hell was that for? Like, that was, anyway, it did leave me excited for 3 only because of the very ending and what the ending sort of indicates and leads to. But honestly, what it makes me excited for is post the third one, where and I'll get into this in the spoiler section. What I think it would be a good idea. What am I hearing in the background? Something's tapping.
Sorry, I was tapping.
All right. But yeah, I'll get into that in the spoiler review. But all right, so the acting. Again, I thought Chris Pratt was fun, but I thought he lost a lot of his charm in this one. I thought he got a little bit too slapsticky at one point involving lava. And then I thought that otherwise, he was just kind of okay. We're so used to his performances. I thought he was too sort of underplayed. This was way more Bryce Dallas Howard's movie than Chris Pratt's movie.
Totally.
But again, I didn't like the new blood. I did not like the new actors. I did not like the Dave made a funny joke. It was, would you eat me? I'd eat me. I'd eat me so hard. That actor, it's completely distracting seeing that actor in anything and not picturing him tucking his dick between his legs.
Oh, come on.
But
it was Buffalo Bill, you're right.
Yeah, dude.
Of course it was Buffalo Bill. Where have you been, under a rock?
The one scene, and it didn't even register with me because I was more focused on Ian Malcolm in that scene. And so.
Oh, you mean Ian Malcolm's split into 2 single-day cameo? Like whatever. Like we got Jeff Goldblum for 2 hours. What are we gonna do? We're gonna film him in front of Congress and split it up.
He's like, you got me for 45 minutes. I'll read it once.
Yeah, I'll read it once.
I'll get it on the first.
Get me a prompter. Here we go.
What do you expect? He's not gonna do anything more than that. You can't say you expected that there's gonna be more Goldblum in that movie.
I was just hoping there would be.
No, there's no way.
So okay, let's. What about your guys in the acting? Again, I hated the new kid, the techno kid. He was so annoying.
I liked him. I like the doctor. I thought everybody was great because, I don't know what you were expecting going into this movie. I feel like you're expecting like an Oscar out of this. I don't know why.
No, I was just expecting a confident, non-repeating story.
And it's not. I don't know. Like I think it fit. I think it fit the series, and I thought the actors were good. I didn't fault anybody. I thought everybody did a really good job.
I have to jump on and say I thought the girl was way more interesting than both of the kids in the last one, because they always have a kid in these movies,
Yeah.
What girl? The doctor?
No, the young girl, the granddaughter.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually liked her. I thought she
You
was
mean
good.
Penny Gadget?
Yeah.
Maisie.
Who?
Penny Gadget, Inspector Gadget's, intrepid daughter that always figured out all of like the
aspect of this movie. I don't know why.
It was so frustrating. There were so many decisions that were stupid in this. Like,
I don't understand. Like I left that movie like excited. I was like, yay! I got to see my dinosaurs. I got to see some people get eaten. Like I laughed. What do you mean?
It was so much more disappointing than the last one. I thought the climax
Marsha, how do
of
I
the
get
last
in your
one,
screen and
the
these
climax
two
of the
can stay in
last
their
one
screen?
blew the climax of
Over
this
here.
one out of the water. The
I don't
climax of the
understand.
last one was amazing. This one was just boring.
Well, okay, if I'm going to say anything about the acting, I thought it was, Class A Hollywood acting film. There wasn't anything that was terrible. Compared to the last Jurassic Park, which I had a lot of problems with some of the acting.
What, Jurassic Park 3?
No, the last one.
Oh, Jurassic World?
Jurassic World.
Oh.
Also, I really did enjoy a lot of the interplay between Chris Pratt and her this time. Like I said, I agree with whoever. I think it was you that said that this is like a transition movie. So I totally agree with that, and I think that that's what this was. They're gonna be together now. They got a kid. Oh, spoiler. But anyway, that's part of the charm of my acting that I liked. So I did enjoy it, and also I thought Chris Pratt had a huge part to play with his blue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the old yeller of raptors, kind of. The one raptor. And they showed all those really cute videos when they're baby raptors. I mean, if you don't feel for these dinosaurs at some point, they're actors as well.
I'm not saying. Oh, that's another problem I had with it, was the fact that they frickin' purposely manipulated the audience with one scene in particular.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
fantastic!
Yeah.
Like, it was so aggressively affecting, and it got
here's
to
the heavy
me.
hand of that door closing.
Oh my god! It got to me. It's a scene, where they're escaping the island, and not all the dinosaurs have made it. And
or are going to make
we'll
it.
talk about it in the spoiler section, but man, like it got to me. It really did, and I was like, but that was such a manipulative scene because they held on it for so freaking long.
Well,
that's the point.
I think that was the point. Also, Marsha, I think it was supposed to emphasize that literally the only dinosaurs left are on this boat with them, and the ones flying in the air.
11
Yeah.
species.
Oh, and the one in the water.
Right.
True.
And for Isla Sorna.
Which I will say that is one disappointment. That's all we saw.
Yeah,
this
you
is
get
what
the
we saw in the
opening.
trailer.
Essentially, you get the opening and then the shot from the trailer.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Too much
And
money.
not only that, but again, the trailer ruined the whole opening scene because you knew exactly.
Oh,
You
the second
knew
trailer.
exactly what was going to happen as soon as the guy grabbed the ladder from the chopper.
All I keep hearing from you, Cecil, is that you're watching too many trailers. So that's all.
You might. You know what? You might 100% be right. You might 100% be right.
I mean, that's why I'm like, I'll watch one trailer. I know you got a show to run, but like, you keep watching all these different versions of the trailer, you're gonna ruin the movie because there's not gonna be a movie left to watch. I mean, I think movies are hurting themselves by releasing too many trailers. To be honest, I think make a solid trailer, be done with it. Everybody's gonna go watch the fucking movie anyways. It's Jurassic World. You don't need to give up the whole movie. You don't need 6 different trailers. Just show one trailer and be done with it.
Well, and that's where I should just say Hollywood should cut less revealing trailers, personally.
Wow.
Well,
I mean,
I'm going to say this right now on behalf of Hollywood. You're both wrong. So, on behalf of Hollywood.
Nah.
I agree with you, though.
I watch no trailers than any. To be honest.
And I mean, this was for a hot minute before Force Awakens came out, the highest grossing opening weekend film of all time, the previous entry in this. And then Force Awakens came and stomped it. But
there was a beautiful theme that went throughout the thing that, we're all in love with dinosaurs as kids, and some of us hold on to that to adults. And no matter what, it's fun to see the dinosaurs. And I think ultimately at the heart of the story and the acting is, like, let's not let them perish again. And this time, we have the opportunity to try to save them. So,
well, let's talk about the effects then, because again, we have spoilers to talk about too. So the effects, I thought, the practical that we saw was good, but I thought it was way more CG than they let on was going to be. Like, Fuego, you said that this was supposedly going to be the most practical effects of any movie since the original, right? And
that's what they were saying in the press. Yeah.
And while that might have been, it did feel like a crap ton of CG as well.
Yeah.
As I was rewatching the last one, though, it's like pretty much CG throughout. I don't think there was like any practical dinosaurs in the last Jurassic World movie. So
maybe.
But,
if you're comparing it to the last one, it's probably more. But overall, it still felt very CG.
I definitely think they did a better job of adding little things to every shot. That there's so much chaos usually going on, and there was such beautiful little details that I happened to notice that I enjoyed. So I think they did a great job on the special effects. I do think it was CG heavy though.
I think the CG looked better than in any previous one, like the texturing on the dinosaurs, like rugged skin and stuff like that. But in some of the scenes with the Indoraptor, whatever the fuck you want to call it, when they switched from CG to practical, I felt like it was very glaringly obvious. So
I don't know. I enjoyed it all. I didn't care. about the CG. I didn't care about the like. You could. I wouldn't say I didn't care about the practical because there was the scene that David mentioned before that got me excited. And I just really enjoyed all the little things about the movie that made me excited for Jurassic Park to begin with, and to be able to revisit that again and kind of get to the roots. And then I know we're not talking about the story anymore. We're talking about I just don't have much to say about the special effects because I just thought they did a really good job. I mean, yeah, it's going to be heavy on the CG, not as much practical, but given to what the movie is, I don't think there was enough room for a lot of practical.
That's true. I think there could have been maybe a few more shots of actual practical dinosaurs behind the bars, considering how many damn dinosaurs behind bars there were throughout the movie. You know? Would have been really easy because they're all in shadow.
No, that would you can hide them behind the bars. Their feet don't pick up. Yeah, they definitely missed out. I mean, obviously those things cost probably $1 million to make one of those animatronic dinosaurs. So,
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah. Well, maybe like one of those big ones.
$1 million? Making an actual dinosaur. Maybe.
Yeah, with the servos and the whole thing. But I was frustrated because once again the CG is still so quick that you can tell it's CG. Like especially when Chris Pratt is like in the trailer, he rolls through the mouth of the T-Rex.
Yeah, that's still CG.
And it's so beautiful when he's close up next to it. It's a practical effect, so
like,
it looks so real.
Like I want to see that they had to have done a practical test.
Oh, well, there was practical.
No, I know.
And then when he rolls, that part is CG.
No, but that part they had to have done a practical test with that same practical T-Rex.
Yeah, maybe.
And maybe it just didn't look quite good enough. But man, I would have liked to have seen and see how that looks compared to it because
I always forget
the CG does not look great. You know, like it's so obviously CG. And here's another just a little side problem I had to do with the sound design. While the sound design was still really awesome in having to do with a lot of the different dinosaur sound effects, I was bummed that they gave us at the very beginning an audio cue of a Dilophosaurus that we haven't seen since the first movie, and then we never actually saw a Dilophosaurus. Like the first thing we hear when the dude's at the power station thing, we hear the Dilophosaurus sound and hooting and whistling, but then we never see it, so that was a bummer.
Yeah.
I guess that's a bit of a spoiler that the Dilophosaurus is the only dinosaur we don't see in this whole goddamn movie.
I love the Dilophosaurus, man.
Yeah, like why hasn't it gotten any love since movie one?
They show a model of one at the mansion, though.
Yeah, but it's like that's such a cool dinosaur. We haven't seen it since part one. But nonetheless, the effects just were good for what they were, but they were just super CG. Now the music and the sound design. Let's talk about that. I thought that the movie leaned on the Jurassic Park theme way too much. Like they were like, "Hey, here's something that was kind of underwhelming." Dun 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 dun. You know, try and build you up with that kind of stuff, and it didn't work that much. I thought it was too bombastically loud at times, like the opening credits sequence when the lava's actually flowing through the Jurassic World sort of emblem. It was like super loud, aggressive Jumanji style, like you know, like it's like come on guys, you didn't even have that aggressive of an opening. Like I just the sound design kind of annoyed me too. I don't know what it was. I wasn't tired. I wasn't in a bad mood.
Movie.
It just
everything that's come out of your mouth has been negative about this movie.
I don't know. I wasn't tired. I wasn't angry. I wasn't in a particularly bad mood. I just didn't enjoy it.
I did.
I thought the score in the back half was interesting because in the third act, it pretty much becomes a horror movie. I mean, it's in a mansion and all this stuff. It's very contained, where they were trying to do something different, and it was a very gothic score with these choir chanting kind of things, and I guess you guys are definitely right. It was very loud, and I know they were trying to set a mood. It didn't just feel as much like Jurassic Park to me, but I mean they were going for something new, so I guess maybe credit to that. I know we didn't hit cinematography, and I just did want to briefly say that all the shots of Hawaii, and I mean even some shots at the mansion, it was beautifully designed interior with the skeletons of all the dinosaurs inside the mansion and everything, and one shot in particular with this new dinosaur up on the roof with like the moon behind it and everything roaring looked super dope. So I mean J.A. Bayona, the guy who directed The Orphanage and The Monster Calls, has a very keen eye for framing shots and stuff with his team, I guess. But
the set design was cool to a point. I mean, the fact that the mansion had an ancient dumbwaiter that was built into the secret subterranean lab facility. Like, really? You're going to just include that in the dumbwaiter's path? No.
Why not?
Another
Why
dumb
not?
decision. Oh,
Why not?
it's so stupid. There's so
What,
much
they don't
stupid
have
stuff.
to eat too down there?
And
You
it
don't
did
have
go
to
to
make
his room.
dishes?
It wasn't like public access.
Well, and why was she like, why did they, when they're running from the Endoraptor and they trick it and
They can
hide
just
in the
leave
wall,
laundry.
and then they decide to leave the hiding spot and go right back out where it can find them again? It's like, why? And she has all these hiding spots throughout the house. She runs back up to her room. The thing is, the thing somehow tracks her down.
She's a
even though she
child.
runs clear across the house and it's outside in the rain.
she
Somehow
has
tracks down the
hiders.
exact room, and then she just hides. Doesn't even hide all the way under
I'd
the
like
covers.
to hear you do
Again,
that.
Yeah,
it's
there's
all
some
in the
stuff-
trailer. But
Yeah,
she
there's
knows
some
every
stuff
hiding
you-
spot in the house, and she doesn't even hide all the way under the covers in her own room when this thing is like so many dumb things.
Yeah, we're getting close to spoiler territory. I think we need to.
No, this
we
is
need to
all
stick
in the
with-
trailer.
Oh, I know. But there was something I really wanted to say just now
Oh.
about the pulley system thing, and that would be just spoiling, I think.
Well, the Endoraptor they already said they have a really heightened sense of smell, and they can track anything for whatever miles.
Unless
Yeah.
it's hiding on the
Okay.
other side.
Yeah,
of
unless it's on the other side of a sculpture. Yeah,
Oh,
it
he
can't
knew he was
can't
there.
sniff them out
He knew
there.
he was there.
That made me
knew
laugh.
they were there. He knew that they were
Not
there.
until they made the noise. Not until the noise was
No,
made.
he knew
They
he was
were
there.
right
That's why he
on-
got up on the thing, so that way he could get a good position to pounce.
It
He's
was-
a raptor.
It was
He can
all
do
over the place.
He's standing in.
Jurassic
Come
World is
on.
supposed to bring us together, people. It's
Well,
dinosaurs.
Negative Nancy over there who can't just enjoy a movie.
He's like a T-Rex
You're
trying to
telling
play
me
video
I
games.
can't enjoy. I'm the one that enjoys most everything on this channel. So forgive me if I don't enjoy this particular one.
Whatever,
Alright.
it's good. Everybody don't listen to Cecil or Jaime. Go watch the movie. It's
Yeah,
fun.
I agree with
Oh,
Marsha.
And that's the thing that I will like, at least for my final thoughts here. I did watch some reviews, and this is so divisive of a film. I've seen people say that they think this is the best one since the original,
Oh my
and then
No,
I've seen other people say that they think it's the worst of the entire franchise. So it's very polarizing.
No.
So watch it and make up your own mind, obviously. But
The third one was the worst.
third one is easily the worst, but this wasn't far off for me. So.
Nah.
All
Alan.
All right. Well, let's call it there. That's going to do it for our non-spoiler review. We'll have a brief spoiler discussion that'll go up as well, so just click the link at the end of this video if you want to see that. Thanks very much.
Everybody make a comment about how Cecil's wrong and Marsha's right. This movie is awesome.
Or be truthful and vice versa.
And a special thank you to all of our Patreon sponsors
Yes.
and supporters. We love you.
Absolutely, yes. We did launch our Patreon this month, and we did want to give a shout out to all the Patreon supporters that appear above producer Dave and I, and to Fuego's left and Marsha's upper left. So yeah, thank you very much, you guys. The link is in the description box down below if you want to become a patron. We are actually going to be filming our first 2 commentaries this coming Sunday for patron requests.
And one of them happens to be my favorite horror film of all time.
Yeah, actually.
A Serbian film?
Nope, that's the other one. Wah, wah. All right, so thanks very much for watching. I've been Cecil Laird.
I've been producer Dave.
I'm much better.
Gracias, Jaime and Fuego.
And remember,
Stay scared.
stay
Scared.
scared.
Woo! Jurassic World! Woo!
Yes.
Movies.
Epic.
Go watch Carnosaur.